Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of Loremaster Leveling. Here with me, Sneaky Bard. We are on our Goblin Rogue Rona, and we're still in Eastern Plaguelands. The only thing I did between episodes was just picking up the quests we had here. So we've got a quest for 13 plague bats for a troll's head, and finding Pamela Redpath in Darrowshire. So I figure we start with the plague bats, and while we do so, we might as well talk a bit about what's changed lore-wise in this zone. We already talked more about the Forsaken in the last episode, not the last one, but like the first one that we were in this zone for. And now we're going to talk about the other faction that inhabits this zone, namely the Argent Crusade. Previously the Argent Dawn, and well, before the Argent Dawn, the Knights of the Silver Hand and Scarlet Crusade. So we already know that the Scarlet Crusade are basically the fanatical version of the Paladins, who basically want to kill off all traces of the plague, and everyone who doesn't agree with them is a potential enemy to their cause. So we won't be talking that much about them, at least to start off with. We will start off with the Knights of the Silver Hand. So chronologically they were the first Paladin order, and well, feared them, and they were founded after the disastrous defeat of the human kingdoms human kingdom of Stormwind in the first war by Alonzo's Foul and Uther the Lightbringer, mentor to Artus, and they were formed as a rapid response team and also elite unit of holy light wielders. Wait, where was my kick? Okay, there. Holy light wielders that were supposed to counter the demonic energies of the warlocks of the Horde. And the other reason that they were founded was that lots of priests who worked as combat medics in the first war ended up dying because they didn't know how to fight, they just knew how to heal. So the idea was there to have combat medics basically wearing plate and all that nice stuff, and being able to know how to fight and not dying off all the time when an arrow hit them. Oh god damn it, I always get feared. But then, with Arthur's becoming a member of the Knights of the... Are you rare? No. Knights of the Silver Hand. He also ended up disbanding the order when Uther decided not to join him in the purging of Stratholme. So, since then, the Knights of the Silver Hand had a brief interim hiatus, if you will. So, and what happened there in their stead was Arthur's obviously rampaged through all of Lordaeron. Everything turned to this Plaguelands type, full with undead and whatnot. And the Scarlet Crusade, Scarlet Crusade was founded, and lots of ex-paladins ended up joining them because they seemed to be the only ones who were, you know, fighting the good fight against the Scourge. And one of them was Tyrion Fordrings, a guy who wielded the Ashbringer and died at the Broken Shore at the start of Legion. His son. And well, mostly when people joined the Scarlet Crusade, they didn't quite, you know, realize what the entire package deal, so to speak, that they were getting was, and some of them wanted to leave. They were obviously then treated as traitors and not more often than not killed. This is what happened to Tyrion's son, and Tyrion then decided, okay, what he is going to do is he's going to make sure that no such thing happens, that the Paladins are not going to be, you know, disgraced by the Scarlet Crusade. I keep wanting to say Scarlet Chorus from Tyranny, but no, Scarlet Crusade's actions, and that there needs to be a purely it's not too far away, purely good Paladin order dedicated to battling the Scourge. So he revived the Knights of the Silver Hand for that purpose. Now, this wasn't an easy task, since in the interim of all of that, Tyrion managed to also be excommunicated from the Knights of the Silver Hand, and even stripped of his ability to wield the light, because he helped an orc named Eitrid, pardon me, cough there, who's still in Orgrimmar. He's an old orc in the War Chief Chamber, and the other paladins obviously didn't really see this as something good. It was more seen as high treason. Now Tyrion, and I won't spoil the entire story of how this happened, because there's a great book, a novel on it, managed to regain the favor of the light, and then became the de facto leader of the Knights of the Silver Hand and the Argent Dawn, that was formed specifically with the idea of being stationed in the Plaguelands and fighting the Scourge, because for one, the Knights of the Silver Hand had obviously suffered a kind of, shall we say, PR defeat, with Arthas going all rogue and becoming part of the enemy. And there also needed to be a neutral order where, for instance, Forsaken, or not Forsaken, but free undead wielders of the light could fight the good fight, whereas that couldn't be done with the Knights of the Silver Hand, as this was a purely alliance order. So the Argent Dawn was Tyrion's idea of going like, look, we're all threatened by the Scourge, let's all fight together and accept everyone who's willing to fight. Oh, already used my kick for whatever reason. And this is where basically WoW Vanilla takes up. We have the, okay, Human Priest, the Argent Dawn over here fighting the good fight with both Horde and Alliance, and surprisingly many Forsaken light wielders, so we don't quite know what's up with them, but the their current story to explain that is that these guys didn't want to join the Forsaken, because most of the Forsaken clergy are Shadow Priests and they still believe in the light, so they decided to band together and join the Argent Dawn. But yeah, that's what the Argent Dawn is. But the Argent Dawn is now obviously defunct since Wrath, where Tyrion decided, look, in the Death Knight opening Start Zone questline, the Lich King has awoken, the Scourge is invading again, and we need to have an invasion force capable of dealing with that. Okay, are we getting attacked by him? No, good. Let's go into stealth so he doesn't get any weird ideas. And Tyrion merged the Knights of the Silver Hand and the Argent Dawn into one entity, the Argent Crusade, which is mainly based, well, now is based here as well, but also in Northrend. So what became of the Argent Dawn and Knights of the Silver Hand was obviously the Argent Crusade then, and they then ended up fighting purely against the Lich King. And the reason Tyrion obviously keep saying lots of obviously merged these two organizations was because he figured, you know, we need as many proficient light wielders as possible in order to fight the Lich King. Now the only organization of paladins and light wielders that were opposed to the Scourge here, that were not included in this setup, were obviously the Scarlet for their fanaticism. But the Scarlet Crusade. But the Scarlet Crusade has worked together with the Argent Dawn in the past in the form of the Brotherhood of the Light, who basically want to try and build a bridge between the more, shall we say, intellectual, peace-loving approach of the Argent Dawn and the more martial, fanatical approach of the Scarlet Crusade. Now, the interesting problem we had there was that these were the guys who, in the original Naxxramas raid, led the assault on it. But their leader, who ended up handing the phylactery of Kel'Thuzad to, ended up actually being a lackey of Kel'Thuzad's and caused Naxxramas to be relocated to Northrend from over here in Eastern Plaguelands. It used to be roughly around here, I think. And Kel'Thuzad to be resurrected. And this was also the reason Tyrion decided that we need a new organization, and 2, this organization's members will all be handpicked by him, so that this type of betrayal doesn't happen again. Interestingly enough, it was only apparently one member of the Brotherhood of the Light that acted this way. The rest of them, they're still active in various quest lines in Northrend and even here, and nothing strange seems to have happened to them yet, at least. Let's go and see if we can't find Pamela over here. So yeah, now where was I? We were talking about the Brotherhood of the Light. Yes. So now what happened in Legion was that the Argent Crusade is basically defunct as well, because its mission in eradicating the Lich King has been successfully done. They've also reclaimed all of these places in the Plaguelands, so they used to only be located here around the Light's Hope Chapel, or is it here? Somewhere around here. Yeah, that's where Light's Hope Chapel is, here. And now they've taken all of these towers here. We have the Crown Guard Tower, we have the Light Shield Tower, all of these places. They were under Scourge control, and now the Argent Crusade has taken them over. But with Legion and the demise of Tyrion, what happened was, obviously the player became the new High Lord, but instead of continuing the Argent Crusade, which was formed to fight the Scourge, the Knights of the Silver Hand were reformed and officially recognized again, because Tyrion's little try there wasn't quite recognized by everyone, and instead it seems that the Knights of the Silver Hand are the ones who are taking over the more broad job description of the Argent Crusade and fighting the good fight as a lawful good organization against everyone who is evil and not just the undead, especially since Bolwar as the new Lich King seems to be content with being quite quiet. Okay, we need to pick up her doll, apparently. Okay, there we go. But yeah, that is... Okay, can we hit you? Yeah, good. So that is basically the story behind the Paladin organization here in the Eastern Plaguelands. And, well, Plaguelands in general, and further on in Northrend. And then obviously you had the, what was it, the, don't remember what the faction is called, and I doubt we have it here, but the faction you ended up having a reputation with in Icecrown Citadel. Was it the, it wasn't the, because the Knights of the Ebon Blade were the Death Knights, but it was a fusion of the Knights of the Ebon Blade and the Argent Crusade to fight, or to join basically everyone who could fight the Lich King in some capacity into one organization, and they are pretty much defunct now as well. The Ebon Blade not so much, but that specific organization, yes. And the Scarlet Crusade and Scarlet Onslaught, I think was their version in Northrend, are all more or less defunct as well. Their leaders are dead, and lore-wise they don't play that big a role anymore. Apart from some artifact quest lines, they were, after all, the ones who forged the Discipline Priest's weapon, and forged also the, oh my god, I'm having a lore blackout here, but Tyrion's sword. The Lightbringer. That's what it's called, right? I hope so. Let's see. Oh, we probably got all the doll parts, but let's kill this guy anyway. The Ashbringer. There we go. Lightbringer was Uther. Ashbringer. Managed to save my lore credentials slightly. Which and it's its creation story is interesting. That for those of you who do not know, if you go into the Thrall's Escape, the Hillsbrad dungeon where Thrall escapes, you can go into one of the buildings in South Shore and see how it's being created, basically being purified from a tainted Naru core. I think that was the general idea. And let's put together the doll. And then obviously it was corrupted again by the forces of the Scourge and wielded by High Lord Morgraine as the first leader of the Horsemen. And now it's Tyrion managed to purify it in Wrath, and it was wielded by Tyrion until he fell on the Broken Shore, and now it's wielded by Retri Paladins. Alright, you want Joseph's hunting blade as well, so let's go and do that. But that is basically the lore for the living side of this conflict here in the Plaguelands. Let's see, who are you? You're a Draenei Paladin with a cool title. Wait, no, you're someone who already... Yeah, you're someone who already pre-ordered the expansion pack. We get to see our first Lightforged Paladin, Lightforged Draenei Paladin. There we go. So yeah, you can, after all, as most of you probably know, pre-order the expansion packs. Already have been able to for a week, I think. And if you level your character in the new race up from like level 20 to max level, you will be getting legacy armors, which I think are purely cosmetic, but I haven't really looked into that yet because I haven't pre-ordered. Instead, and this is something that will come up in a new... Isn't that the thing? Joseph's hunting blade? Will come up in a new channel agenda update video. I bought Kingdom Come Deliverance and the new Civ 6 expansion, so those are things you can look forward to coming to the channel very, very soon. Now, how do I get this hunting blade? Let's see. My daddy always kept two swords, one for fighting with men and one for hunting the animals. I wasn't supposed to touch his swords, but I knew where he hid them. One day he told my mommy that he was going to fight a lone hunter in the hills to the east, but he brought his animal sword with him. When he came back, he didn't have his sword with him. When Daddy comes back, he'll be so happy when I give him his animal sword. Will you go and find it? The lone hunter? Will you spawn? Like, do we have to wait for you to spawn? I wonder. Let's wait a bit. Can always kill... Yeah, we have to wait for you to spawn. Oh, dear. Joseph's hunting blade. Stabbed through the skull with a hunting blade. And, oh, you're not even undead. You're a beast. Even though you look spectral, you're still a beast type, apparently. I have no clue how you survived, or have been able to survive with a sword through your skull, but then again, this is a fantasy game. Who am I to complain? Come on, give me a stun, give me a CC, and let's go here. Eviscerate. Wow, you are a health sponge, aren't you? But yeah, we should be not having any problems at all with you. There we go. So now let's put subtlety and venom there and put our heal up. Whoa. Maybe we shouldn't have put in venom. This allowed it to damage us for a bit longer than necessary. Wow, that was tight. We had even put a nasty bleed on us. Alright, definitely not had this type of problems on my arcane mage, but it might be that arcane mages are just way either their rotation, perfecting their rotation is much simpler than perfecting the subtlety rogue one, or they get all the tools that they need for perfecting that rotation quicker, or another thing might be that they're just better at dealing damage in leveling capacity than subtlety rogues. But subtlety rogue definitely does seem to be the more challenging variety of class to level at the moment for me, out of the two that I'm leveling. Here we go, let's give you your hunting blade and get our, what are these? Shoulder. And now we go, return to Colin Redpath at Crown Guard Tower. There we go. You're a ghost, but you still want us to go and return to Uncle Colin. Okay. Hopefully this guy doesn't decide to want to kill us. Or accidentally AoE and do all sorts of things. There we go. We should be safe. Now let's go and return the quest and find a traveling companion in that tower. And then call it an episode. It's going a bit slow, I notice, without heirlooms. It's like 3 episodes per level. That's a bit not as quick as I'd like. But then I do hope that you guys are enjoying the trip, and this is basically me anyway, just, you know, sightseeing and taking it easy while I'm playing some WoW and relaxing and enjoying that time with you. Here, let's turn that back in for you. Okay, bring Joseph's hunting blade to Chromie. Would you be interested in joining our caravan? Okay. Apparently not. Let's go and see if there was... I think there was one upstairs. Yes, because we can turn the quest in there. So let's go and see if you want to join our caravan. Oh, Argent parachutes. Nice. Oh, we can jump down. Nice. Rough roads. That is also a timer, but let's kill it. Are you interested in joining us? You are! You helped me clear the roads of all the nasty wildlife, so I suppose I have no choice. Let's get going. Alright, let's use the parachute. Whee! There we go. And what do we need to do here? That we have a companion. Okay. What does that give us? Alright, let's return this quest to Chromie.
Hi.
Thank you. And pick up these quests and then call in episode. So, as always, my name's been SneakyBot. Thank you for watching. You've been absolutely awesome. Remember to tune in next time that we are going to go questing here in the Eastern Plaguelands. And if you did like this episode, do remember to like, and if you haven't already, do remember to subscribe. That is all mightily appreciated. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.